Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of The Laugh Project with me, your host Han Royani, and with me,
BJ.
BJ.
How you doing, guys?
How you doing, BJ? How you been?
Yeah, it's alright. I think I've sort of fully recovered from the COVID. I still really can't smell. My smell is like back like 50%, I would say. Okay. But then I'm good. It's been a slow news week, in terms of like trending topics happening around Malaysia, I guess.
Yeah, especially around Malaysia. There's not much to talk about.
Which is a good thing, I think. Which is a good thing. Like, our country can do well to stay out of the news sometimes. You know?
It's underrated because it's better sometimes to be out of the news rather than in the news for the wrong reasons.
Especially if you're a government trying to run a country efficiently. You know?
Yeah.
So it's good that there's no squabbling happening right now.
Yeah.
You know?
So I guess that's one thing we can, be happy about because other places in different parts of the world, there's war and stuff like that. For example, the Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar was recently announced dead. So after his death, what does this mean for the war and for the people in Gaza?
I don't know, man. Like, objectively, in this case, I think I've repeatedly said I do not like to take sides. And in this case, I think that objectively is not a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing at all. I think it destabilizes the situation even further, as if it wasn't unstable before. But it has destabilized it even more. And the US and Israel seem to be taking like a victory lap, like it's some kind of huge achievement.
Yeah.
But even if I was on their side, I would not be jumping for joy at the moment because we don't know. I mean, we honestly don't know what his replacement is going to be like. You know, like how when Ismail Haniyeh
the previous
passed, was killed in Tehran, no less. I think almost 2 months ago now.
Yeah. He was the guy leading the peace talks for Hamas.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. And from the US perspective, it was Yahya Sinwar who was the biggest roadblock to the ceasefire happening in Gaza. And they seem to think that with him out of the way, the ceasefire talks or the peace talks can move forward. But
no, it seems to only get worse because even Benjamin Netanyahu came out with a press conference. Even he was saying that
the Israeli PM,
even he said that this is not over. Yeah. So they're
going to ramp up operations in Gaza more, right?
Yeah. So I feel like we live in Malaysia, and I think most people in Malaysia our stance are pro-Palestine.
Yep.
And overwhelmingly. But I wonder what else do we need to make sure that the United Nations, who doesn't seem to be doing anything,
they can't. What can they do? The US is part of the Security Council. Israel is a part of the Security Council. See, that's the thing. If you guys don't know about the UN, United Nations, the UN General Assembly, the ones that you see on TV, that has almost literally no influence on anything resembling a world government. The General Assembly is basically a conference. That's all it is. But the main discussions are usually handled by the United Nations Security Council. And how the Security Council works is that they have permanent members that cannot be replaced. Every single UN sitting, they will be the same. They will always have a place in the Security Council. With, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong by now, but if I'm not mistaken, they have also 3 rotating members, member nations. So in the Security Council, so Russia, China, I think it's 7 permanent nations. Is Russia, China, the US, Israel. I think one of the Middle Eastern nations as well, and I'm forgetting a big one. I think it's South Africa. Okay. Another one. Yeah. So
So these cannot be replaced.
These will never be replaced. They are permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. So on top of that, they have another 3, which are rotating members, basically. So all of the countries that are part of the United Nations get a turn every UN assembly. Yeah. So the 3 are constantly rotating. But the thing about the permanent members is that they have veto power. So if you call for, say, Russia and China call for humanitarian aid, for example, in Gaza, Israel can say no and veto that, and the UN has no choice but to follow.
Yeah, it's crazy how these countries get like a veto power. Like even when the votes are overwhelmingly, like lopsided to a certain issue, but these countries, especially like the US, and we've seen them do this multiple times over the last few months, especially after the, I don't know, was it a ceasefire vote in the UN? I think
there's been multiple ceasefire
and they
votes
keep
over the last year
it.
alone.
They keep vetoing it. And it's all US. Even after more than 100 countries voted for a ceasefire.
Unfortunately, that's just how the UN works, and you have the British mostly to thank for that. Unfortunately, they set this whole thing up. They give, like, Palestine as a country before the end of the World War, the Second World War, was a British colony. And it was a thriving place. Gaza, even the West Bank. The West Bank looks like, how Morocco or places like, or even how Tehran looked like in the 40s and the 30s. They look like Paris. And unfortunately, that happened.
The Nakba, isn't that right?
The Nakba was after the setting up of Israel as a nation, but Israel as a nation, a country given that plot of land, was because the British at the end of World War II decided that the Jewish refugees from the Holocaust needed a plot of land of their own, and they were given what is now Jerusalem to begin with.
And that's the Balfour Declaration you remember. Yeah. So speaking of another thing that the British, how do I segue this? Sorry, I'm just thinking of a word. But basically, news from Britain lah.
Okay.
News from Britain. The star of One Direction, Liam Payne just.
He was British as well.
He was British, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're all British. One Direction.
Right.
They were found dead. He was found dead at 31 after falling off a balcony in Argentina.
Yeah. I saw that. Sad news.
Yeah, sad news.
Like, I wouldn't even have known about it if one of our producers didn't mention it.
Yeah.
The group,
She's threatened to not come to work.
Oh, really?
Just because of the news, right?
But no, man. Like,
no, it's a sad news. It's a sad, painful news.
When I was, I don't know. I think I was out of high school by then. Like, I'm a bit older than the typical. What do you call it?
The directioners.
All right.
Directioners.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
they only had one direction. Only one?
Yeah, the guy fell in one direction, but no.
Okay. That was poor taste.
Sorry.
I cannot.
Okay. No, I'm just still in pain about it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's sad lah, because
Where was this?
it's in Argentina.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and this.
What was he doing there?
I don't know. He was with his fiancée, probably like vacationing or something like that. But I saw some like some pictures from his room actually, and it was quite troubling because it looked like he trashed in the room. I don't know if someone pushed him lah, but he looked like he had a rough time in the room. Like all the pillows were everywhere.
Like there was a fight. What?
There was a fight.
Oh,
there was a fight. So yeah, there's. I'm
and
sad.
was only the fiancé in the room with him?
I'm not sure actually, but he was there in Argentina with the fiancée, but I'm not sure if she was in the room with him when it happened.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like,
does he have like history of violence? Like domestic abuse or whatever?
No, he doesn't.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, like,
Right. And the fiancé is okay? Like unharmed?
yeah, she's unharmed. She's
Right,
unharmed. She's
right,
okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that's sad news. 31, dude.
31.
I'm 32.
I'm 31,
That's
dude.
so close. Oh, you're 31?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm scared, man.
yeah, as long as you don't get drunk and, throw yourself off a balcony, I think you're fine, dude.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
I mean, I've never killed myself, lah.
I've known a lot of drunk people, dude. None of them have thrown themselves off a balcony. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's almost like somebody pushed him. No Didi. Hashtag no Didi. He was probably at the parties though.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I mean, I bet One Direction was at the parties.
I think they...
I don't know if
mean,
they were there till 4 a.m, but...
I mean, if Justin Bieber was at a Diddy party, I mean, I'm not surprised if One Direction was there.
Dude, like off camera, you were telling me how One Direction was set up, right?
Yeah.
It was like how they got together.
Okay, so basically One Direction was part of this... they joined the show, like individually, like all 5 of them. It's a show called X Factor, I think, in the UK. And when they were selecting the participants to go to the next round, one of the judges, I think it was Nicole Scherzinger from...
Lewis Hamilton.
From
That's
Pussycat
where I
Dolls.
remember her from, dude.
Okay, I mean,
she was on the paddock, like literally every race.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, that's where I remember her from.
No, but she was part of Cat Dolls. And she was with...
I remember her from that too.
the judge.
I was 15. I remember that very well. That was my One Direction. That was the only direction I was going. Ain't no other directions there, man. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I was a big fan too at 15, you know.
Yeah.
All the 15-year-old boys were. Yeah, but she decided that, okay, these 5 boys should be part of a group. And
wait, they entered it individually?
They entered it individually.
Oh, okay, cool.
So she was like, okay, I may name these people wrong. Like Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Louis Tomlinson, Liam Payne, and Niall Horan.
Damn.
I'm not a directioner.
You're a directioner.
I'm not a
dude.
directioner.
Dude.
I'm not.
Holy you knew the full names. Holy I've never seen anything more gay than that. But go ahead. Continue.
Okay. I was about to say something even more gay. Okay, I'm not gonna lie because I grew up in the UK. Okay, so I watched this show lah.
Yeah.
So and then I thought the 4 white boys, they were like, okay. I mean, like I see this type of boys everywhere.
Yeah.
But then I was also growing up with like a bunch of brown kids, and none of them looked like Zayn Malik. Though.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like looking, is this guy like even real? Like Zayn Malik?
Right.
I'm not gay. By the
What? Is he good looking? What? He's good
I
looking.
thought he was lah. I thought he
okay.
was. Yeah. He's got the features like a typical Bollywood star. You know what I mean?
So he's Indian?
He's Pakistani, mixed Pakistani, I think. Yeah.
Oh. So he doesn't like India. I'm just saying.
No.
Have you seen that video? Have you seen that video about Pakistani kids? Dude, it's crazy. You guys should pull it up. Producers, you guys should pull this up.
Yes,
and pull it up.
It's basically a school.
Yes,
it's a school.
Yes,
and there's
exactly
this
what I'm
like
talking about.
female headmistress, and they're in a Pakistan. They're in a school in Pakistan. And they were like, okay, what are your aspirations or goals for the future?
And like 80% of them would destroy India. Holy dude. I mean, are you
I will become a pilot.
Yeah.
And I will destroy India
I will drop
and save
bombs on New
Pakistan.
Delhi.
You guys should dude, that was crazy, man. Because and then the crazy thing is the teacher just went along with it.
Yeah, dude.
The teacher's like, wow.
She hated India just as much as he did. She did.
The kid was like, oh, I'm gonna save Pakistan and destroy India. Wow, save Pakistan. Wow.
Dude, that video is hilarious, dude. Best video I watched this year. Holy I was crying laughing while watching that. Oh my god. Oh wow. But yeah, dude.
Dude, that was crazy, man. Okay, I got another crazy news for you. And this is a local news.
Malaysian news?
Malaysian news.
Okay, I'm gonna love this.
A man in Batu Pahat, he was fined 800 ringgit for slapping his girlfriend. You know why?
Why? Why did he slap his girlfriend?
Because they got into an argument because he texted good morning sayang and she didn't reply back.
How long?
Yeah.
How long Did he wait before he slapped her?
I have no idea.
They
Actually,
didn't mention that?
They didn't mention that. But imagine like the way it happened. You know, macam like you just confronting your girlfriend, macam like, hey, what's up, babe?
Take the effort to
well,
go all the way
yeah.
to see her when she didn't reply your text.
Yeah.
Like, if she didn't reply your text, dude, don't go and see her.
And then she's like,
Why you want to go and see her and slap her for?
Yeah.
Like,
And then she's
That's
all
ridiculous.
probably like, it's not a big deal, you know. And then eventually it escalated.
no, the real issue here, you know what the real issue here is? Is the judge.
The judge.
The judge. How can you fine someone $800 for slapping a woman for nothing? Like, in all honesty, dude, you slap a woman like that at least a day. Like 24 hours.
A day in lockup. In jail. Yeah.
In jail. Put you with the and all that. Like, let you experience that for a day. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Like, just
that's-
because you didn't reply your text.
Yeah.
Gila.
I know.
That's
Imagine
nuts.
the aftermath of that, like after the slap. The girlfriend's just like, I'm gonna go to the police, you know? And then he'll be like, do lah, what are you gonna do? And then now, they're all in the front page. It's crazy, man.
Where was this? Oh? Where in
in
Malaysia was this?
Batu Pahat.
Johor?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bite my tongue. I ain't gonna see. About Johor no more.
Oh, we love Johor.
No, yeah, we love Johor. We love Johor. We love Johor. Johor is a great state.
Yeah.
Without Johor, Malaysia will be nothing.
Luaskan kuasamu.
Yeah, let's go. On to the next one.
Okay, on to the next one. Okay, like international news. Okay, and you know, we only have like from the time of this recording, we only have 19 or 20 days left until the US elections.
Yeah. November 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
US time. That is.
Yeah, how's the polling update nowadays?
Okay, so before we get into the polling, I'd
Okay.
like to get into a few things that happened before the most recent round of polling.
Okay, sure,
And
sure.
I think the most important part that we should get into is Kamala Harris's media tour.
Oh, yeah,
that she
yeah.
did. Yeah, so she went on a few notable podcasts like
And TV shows.
and TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went on a few late night shows as well.
Yeah.
Notable one is Stephen Colbert,
Yeah, I watched that one.
The Late Show.
But
Right?
I didn't finish it.
Yeah, and then she went on Call Her Daddy as well
Call Her Daddy is
with Alex Cooper. It's
Okay.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the most listened to female hosted podcast in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And it's also number one amongst women listeners. I think. Yeah. Which if you I'll get back to that. And then there's also a rumor of her, at least at the time of recording, she hasn't gone on yet, but there's a rumor that she's going to go on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, wow.
As well. Kamala Harris, yeah. Trump is more or less confirmed. She's going to do that in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sometime in the last 2 weeks before the election.
Okay.
But there's also a rumor that Kamala is trying to get on as well. And the rumor is that Joe Rogan himself is quite willing to let both of them on and talk about their issues. But he has a few caveats from what I've read on X. He says the most important thing is that there's no time limit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he gets to have a discussion. No one else in the room. No time limit. And he hopes that they will agree to that lah. But other than that, nothing much. Where else has she gone on? She went on.
You know, I heard reports that she was even planning to pay some of these podcasters or some of these influencers to have her on their shows.
Yeah. Kai Cenat actually admitted it on his stream. Like they were calling him. I think they were going to pay him $100,000 US dollars to have her on the live stream. Just have her on the stream like how most recently John Cena was on.
Yeah,
something like that. So, but he said no, and he told his stream he said no. Like he has no interest in talking to Kamala Harris, according to him. So she's not going to do it.
You know, I think it's if I was a politician and if I was going on these media runs, I think I'd be kind of scared because if I up, it only takes like one single moment of me like messing up to like possibly derail my movement. You know what I mean?
Right? Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
but the thing about Trump is he does that all the time.
Yep.
And he just keeps going.
Yep. Yep. Like, I don't know. Like, if you've seen, like, Trump himself has been making a media tour as well.
Yeah.
But non-traditional media, mostly.
He went on podcasts, right?
Yeah, a lot. In the last, I think, 2 weeks alone, he's gone on at least 3 notable podcasts. Like, he went on the Sean Ryan show. Have you heard of Sean Ryan show?
No, I have not.
Sean Ryan show is a really interesting story with him, because last week he was the most listened to podcast in the world. Sean Ryan show, yeah. He is actually a former Navy SEAL.
I see.
Who turned into who left the service, retired, and everything.
Okay.
And now he is a podcaster, and he does like one-on-one with mostly military people. But in the lead up to the election, because the border issue in the US has become a sore point for people like Sean Ryan, because he and a lot of the military people, they like, a lot of them still live close to or near the borders.
Okay.
Especially the southern border with Mexico, like in Tennessee, Texas, places like that. And it's gotten to a point where he's been highlighting a lot of these issues by having like border patrol agents on, and he's had politicians and congressmen on that have been trying to pass through a border bill in Congress, you know. So these things have been happening, and he recently had Trump on, I think somewhere around 10 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere there. So that's been good as well. And Trump went on Flagrant.
Oh, yeah.
Trump went on Flagrant. And he went on Flagrant for an hour and a half, which is the longest he's gone on a comedy podcast ever. And a lot of people are saying that Trump's appearance on Flagrant was like his best appearance yet.
Dude, I remember watching that, and by the time he'd finished, I was like, oh, that was it?
Yeah.
Like, that was so
like you
quick.
wanted more, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and the overwhelming polling situation, because we want to tie this back to the polling, is that the polling has indicated that after the most recent round of media tour, Trump is actually ahead by about 1.2, 1.5%. So keep in mind, margin of error for polling is around 3% plus minus. So that 1.5% is still within the margin of error, and it could still be wrong. But aggregate wise, most of the pollsters have Trump ahead by 1.5 to 2% around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, like, who do you think would, I mean, this is all speculation at this point, but who do you think would win the presidential election currently, like based on the current trajectory?
Okay, I am not a gambler. I don't gamble. I've never gambled in my life. But one thing that a lot of people like to ignore, especially in the lead up to a political election, is the Vegas betting line. Okay, so the Vegas betting line at the current moment has Trump ahead by, I think he's like a minus 200, 300 favorite, which is quite a lot. Which is quite a lot in the Vegas betting line.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be able to know who is getting favored, you know. And it seems like Kamala was ahead before. But this past week, Trump has been ahead. And it seems like, I don't know, it seems like people are trying to say that they are bored of Kamala. Like, not bored of her as in she is an annoyance. It's just that there's nothing special about her. It seems like nobody can keep her engaged, you know. Like the Call Her Daddy podcast was considered a flop because
she went on the Call Her Daddy.
Yeah, because it seemed as if she was talking to her base, which at this point in the election, you should be going after the independents.
Yes,
you know, your base is going to vote for you.
Yes.
Like 20 days out, your base is going to vote for you. You don't have to worry about that. you know. And I know, man, like it seems to me like she's in over her head. But she has moments, you know. She has moments like when she did with Oprah. Remember when she went on with Oprah?
No, I did not watch
You
that.
didn't watch
I
that?
Didn't watch that.
She had one of the best moments of her campaign. She said, how do you Oprah not Oprah. It was a town hall that was hosted by Oprah.
Okay.
And one of the town hallers, they gave a question of like how does she feel about the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms in the US. And she was saying, look, it's as simple as this. I carry a gun. Kamala Harris, okay, was saying this. I carry a gun, and if you break into my house, you're getting shot. Which
Very conservative of her.
that's what people said. But if you ask me, at that stage of the election, you're past the primary. You're looking for your independence, kan? So that's when you should be talking directly to the moderates, people who do believe that. There are more people that believe in gun ownership for self-defense than anything else. And she should be
Targeting
that vote. You know?
Yes.
And if you ask me, it wasn't a Republican talking point. It was her being real. And she should do more of that. You know, like people want authentic Kamala. And she honestly should be doing that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm also not a gambling man lah, but based on what I've seen so far, I mean, like the elections are very, it's up and down, you know, 50-50.
Yep.
Sometimes it's Trump, sometimes it's Kamala leading. But you know, the last time I remember feeling like this was when it was Trump versus Hillary.
Okay.
And this is why I think that Trump might win again, because as a Republican,
you think Trump might win again?
I think Trump might win again.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. Because he's a Republican, right? And he's been like the leading nominee for the Republican for the last 3 elections.
Yep.
Yeah. And he has up so many times.
Yep.
So many times. And people still are voting for him. People still believe in him. But the standards are different if you're a Democratic nominee. I think for some reason they are held to a much higher standard. They are expected to be civil, to be nice to people. Not like Trump. Like Trump can just say pretty much whatever he wants, and people will say, "Woo, go Trump," right? But not for a Democratic nominee, and like for Kamala. And that's what I was saying. Like if you going on a media run, and you fuck up. But for example, like if she did well on the call her daddy. If she does well, then it's good, you know, a plus point for her. But for her, if she messes up, it's going to affect her more than how it would affect Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of...
You want to know why?
Why?
You don't want to know why that is the case? It's simply because the Democrats put themselves in that position. They went all this while, since Trump started running for office, okay, back in 2016. All this while, all they've been doing is talking about how, the way he's talking is wrong. You shouldn't be talking like that. You should be more presidential. That's what they keep saying, right? Yeah. You should be more presidential. You should have more class, whatever that means, you know? Things like that. And fine, okay. But make sure when you put up your candidate embodies all of that.
Yeah.
And that's why she's getting the stick. She's not getting criticism because this is how the Republicans want her to be. This is what the Democrats want her to be like. And she's not like that. Nobody is like that. It's a human world. No human is that perfect. Where you can be compassionate to literally everyone. There's no such thing. You're compassionate to one person, you are discompassionate to the other, because it's scarcity of resources. It's a basic economic principle. Scarcity of resources. There's always going to be something that you have to take away from someone in order to give something to someone.
Yeah.
You know? That's how it is.
But you know, there's one thing that I also wonder about this whole thing, right? Like, because the Democratic nominee, I think they have a lot of candidates to choose from. Like, let's say if remember when Joe Biden was still the running nominee for Democrats, and they said, no one's gonna replace Joe. He's gonna be running the whole time. until the election and stuff
Yep,
like that.
yep.
And at that point, no one was even thinking of another nominee because back then they thought they had so many other good nominees other than Kamala Harris. So let's say if Kamala Harris were to drop out of the race, for example, I mean, she's not going to. But let's say if she was out of the picture, the Democrats have so many other options to choose from. But for the Republican side, Trump has been the face for the last 3 elections. That's what, 12 years?
No, for the last 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since 2016. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the last 8 years, he's been like the face of the Republicans. Say he is out of the picture. Okay,
Yep.
we'll talk about because he also has another assassination. That we'll talk about this
Yep,
later.
yep.
But say if he's out,
Okay.
who's gonna be leading the Republicans?
That's a good question. That's a good question. If he gets assassinated or if whatever lah, if he's out of the picture after the election and he wins, but he's for whatever reason he's out of the picture after the election, then he's his vice president lah, JD Vance. But other than that, I don't know, man. Like you could see if he's assassinated, you could see something like Donald Trump Jr. He could be the one to replace.
Okay.
Because you have to remember Lara Trump, his daughter-in-law, is now the co-chairperson of the RNC.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she was married to Eric or Don.
Eric. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's married to Eric.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, dude, Trump gets a lot of criticism for nepotism, like how he likes to have his family around. But they're all really efficient operators, dude. They're all really efficient operators. Like they've all had a hand in the family business. They've all helped grow $1 billion business.
Okay.
You know? Like,
But then you wonder like how helpful is that to the sure it's doing good, but how many of that eventually like funnels into his own hands, into the Trump's brand or the Trump's company.
okay, I'll give you a scenario. Okay, I thought about that.
Okay.
I've thought about that, and when I talked to my uncle about it, who is a brilliant business mind himself, he told me an alternative scenario, and he's by no means a Trump supporter. Okay.
Okay.
He told me, look, why would Trump, if he has, for example, he has hotels all around the world, right?
Yeah.
Trump hotels all around the world, and he likes to stay in them. So when he was president, he used to go and stay in the Trump hotels, not whatever hotel the Secret Service wanted or whatever, but
Okay.
the Trump hotel, and he told the Secret Service, you make it work. Okay, and he received a lot of criticism for that because they were saying, oh, he's trying to take money from out of the government into his own pockets, like you just said, right? So while on the surface level, that seems true. That seems obviously what is happening, right? Government money is going into his personal company money. Fine. But one thing my uncle essentially shed a light on is that, okay, for example, he goes to a competitor, Hilton. Let's just pick a competitor here, okay? Hilton hotel chain. Say he goes, everywhere he goes, say the Hilton, the Secret Service wants him to stay at the Hilton. The Hilton would charge, for example, ballpark figure, 250,000 for his whole stay.
Yeah.
Okay? But when he goes to Trump, when Donald Trump chooses to stay at the Trump hotels, they only end up paying 100K for the equivalent amount of stay. You know? So instead of seeing it as public funds going into his pocket, you could also see it as him saving the taxpayer $150,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And he only has that avenue simply because he was a successful businessman with his own service providing business outside of politics, before politics. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So that you also, as it comes to Trump, I understand that this argument is quite nuance because you have to see if that actually happened.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna ask, macam like, has
You have to
he
see the
released?
records lah,
Yeah,
right?
has he released any financial
But
records?
that is one. I don't think, I think that would be part of public records because public funds change
Okay.
hands. So I don't know. I have not done the research on it, but it makes sense that you would, if you were a world leader or a leader of nation, you try to do that. Like, I don't know how he is. Honestly, I don't know his disposition as a man, how kind he is or how kind he's not. I don't know about all that. But it seems to me like he really does have, his population's interest at heart. One story that I've heard of a Malaysian leader, the great Tun Abdul Razak,
Okay.
Datuk Sri Najib's father.
Yeah.
He was the first prime minister to live in Sri Perdana, not the Putrajaya one, the one in Bukit Tengku.
Oh, okay.
Alright, the first
Yeah.
one, the first official residence. And sometime throughout his term, they approached him. I think one of the government agencies approached him and was like, "Sir, would you want us to build you a swimming pool in within the compound of the estate?" And he was like, "How much does the swimming pool cost?" 90,000 ringgit. I think that 90,000 ringgit would be better used, allocated elsewhere
Yeah.
for the rakyat. And people like that do exist. Leaders like that
Yeah.
do exist. They're few and far between, but they do exist.
Yeah, but is Trump one of them?
I believe he is. Like, he's the only one that's gotten poorer after garnering office. Like, legitimately, his net worth came down after his first 4 years in office.
Yeah lah. I mean, like, when you're the president, you no longer have the time to run your business and
Tak ada
stuff.
tu Obama. He's worth what, 250 million now? When he was what, a congressman? After 8 years, suddenly you're worth 250 million?
Yeah, okay. That's
On a $250,000 salary?
I,
How about Nancy Pelosi?
oh, dude, let's not talk about.
How about Nancy Pelosi? Suddenly she's worth what, 350 million? Wow.
Dude, they should not allow Congress people to
Trade on the stock market.
trade on stock market.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Why?
It's crazy.
Dude, at least if they were gonna release the info, release it to everyone.
Yeah.
Why should just the
But if they do, they don't make the
They're
money.
not- that-
Yeah, they don't make the money. Yeah. Trump never did any of those. Any of that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. That level of corruption, people give him so much. Like, all of the that they got him on was like everything that was before he was president, except for the documents case. And even then, he was president. He was allowed to have. He had the power to declassify documents as president, and he did, and he brought them home. Shouldn't be an issue. So that's what I mean. That kind of that level of corruption, is a whole different beast. People, like the average person, forget the average American, the average person in the world who is nuanced enough to understand what the people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer do.
On paper, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
But the repercussions of what they do, yeah, they get rich, but so many, like probably millions of other people are getting poorer.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
And if you care, if you really do care, then you see that the Democrats are actually a bane to their existence. Though they are not good people. Though. They are not good people.
Dude, I mean, I think the same case can be said about both sides lah. But I used to be a Democrat. I think we explained earlier, like on our first episode, that we mentioned our leanings and stuff like that. But it's not that I'm leaning like super left, but I just find that the whole Democrat Party and the whole how they are doing their policies and stuff like that, it doesn't really align with what I think they should be doing lah.
Really?
Yeah. Even I think, like, out of everyone,
surprising to me.
out of everyone in the Democrats, I would rather vote for the Green Party. the Jill Stein.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a US citizen lah,
Yeah.
but if I was, she'd be the one I'd be going for, because she's the only one that is vocal one of the only ones in the US Senate that is vocal about Gaza, vocal about Palestine, and she's Jewish herself. She's literally Bernie 2.0, which is why I'm a big fan of her lah.
Because of that.
I mean, like, not just that lah. I mean, like, I think her policies are pretty much similar to Kamala, but
Oh yeah, just like.
on the major ones lah, major ones like abortion,
Right.
and stuff like that. But I think just from the fact that she voices up regarding Palestine shows that she's not bought by the APEC.
Yep.
You know, so I can respect her at least for that lah.
Right.
Yeah, which you can't say about most of the Democrats or
Or it
Republicans.
could be the APEC rejected giving her money.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, she's a real rebel to a cause lah.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
she was arrested, I think, because she was protesting for a pro-Palestine. She was protesting at a pro-Palestine rally.
Right.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, she's Jewish and she denounces Israel and like Benjamin Netanyahu and all that, and that shows you, like, okay, the kind of moral compass that you have. Even like, okay, this country, which is she's Jewish and she's supposedly loyal to Israel or whatever because she's Jewish, but her moral taught her to, like, I should stand up against this, even though I was let's say I learned about this and I'm supposed to fight this. But as soon as you grow up, you learn about things, you educate yourself, you know what's right and wrong. And I think Jill Stein perfectly encapsulates what you need to do when something is going wrong. She's the only one that I can see is of character lah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you see, I have an issue with that. Like not with her specifically, but with people like that do end up trying to be vocal about it in Congress. You know, like,
Okay.
you're not making a difference. And as a congressman or a senator, you would know that you're not making a difference. It's, to me, things like that is just the same as pandering.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, okay. The Democrats have also made the case against Jill Stein for that. But at least she's consistent.
Maybe. But she will not get my vote based on that, simply because she won't affect the change that she's looking to affect. Like Donald Trump has himself said, like, you can denounce the violence, fine. But in an interview he did last night actually, our time, he said to this guy called Patrick Bet-David, asked him directly if how are you going to handle the two major conflicts in the world today, the Ukraine and
Gaza.
Ukraine and Russia, and Hamas and Israel. Okay, and he says he will have it sorted while he is president-elect, before inauguration. So in the 2 months, he's going to make sure there's a ceasefire in both arenas of combat. Okay, and if you ask me, he's the only one that could actually make that happen. Jill Stein is not going to have any negotiating pieces when she has to sit down with Putin. Neither does Trump.
Kamala.
Neither does Kamala.
I don't know. I think maybe the Green Party is a bit. It's still a Green Party lah.
Yeah.
It's still new.
I respect what they're doing, but they need to embrace the middle, if you ask me.
No, I think, okay, when you are exposed to the war in Palestine, the brutalities that Israel has put Gazans under, it's hard to be in the middle ground, man. Like you look at them now, like you would think like, okay, there's no way I can like even uh uh what was the word I'm looking
Articulate.
for? No, relate myself to something Israeli. Like, you know what I mean? Like anything I see Israeli products or
Okay.
you know, I just completely I just keep thinking about the people in Gaza and
So you don't eat McDonald's anymore?
no.
Really?
At least not during the day lah. No,
God
because
damn,
sometimes
man.
it's after 12 and then
And
like
they're the
all,
only thing open.
and all the
And they
Ramly
got that
burger
spicy
stalls
chicken
are
McDonald's
closed.
that you can add your cheese on.
Dude.
Right? And they get that fries. You can get a large fries and another large fries.
No, I just order like just a la carte.
And then you get a
That's
McFlurry.
just minimum money you'll get from me.
I know, man. Like that's another thing. I think boycotting is especially if you boycott consumer brands. I don't think it's a wise decision to go forward with. You know, like it doesn't make a difference.
I think it does. Okay, I think
Then don't fly on Boeing jets. Don't fly on Airbus jets.
don't buy iPhones.
Don't fly to Italy for your summer vacation. You want to talk so much? Like, dude, I'm past the virtue signaling, dude. I eat McDonald's when I feel like it simply because it doesn't make a difference. I don't believe it does. Like you what? They give like what? Starbucks gives $1 million a year to the IDF. That doesn't even cover like what? A week's worth of operating costs.
Dude, I still don't want my money to go into that. No matter how little percentage. Like, I can be buying like 20 ringgit of McDonald's today.
Okay.
But so could another 100,000 Malaysians for today. And
Okay.
collectively, we collected like millions. And so a small part of that money goes to McDonald's, which they
It's too
will...
small. The ringgit is too bad.
No, but it's still something. It's still something. And
I
I, feel
know,
okay,
man,
for example, Starbucks.
Okay.
Starbucks, their shares have gotten drastically low. They had to close so many.
Yeah, they had to change the CEO.
Yeah, they had to change their
The Indian
CEO.
dude now.
So many shops closed down.
Yeah.
So I think it works, and it's a lesson, lah. I think, especially for the big companies, that you just don't support genocide.
It doesn't
man.
work. Okay, I'll tell you why it doesn't work. Because Starbucks shares went down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But did the war on Gaza stop?
No.
Exactly. So even if Starbucks or all these consumer brands stop giving money, right? Say tomorrow they stop completely, zero. You think they're gonna stop operating? No. Hell no. It is what it is, dude. Is like we were just talking last week. They get bombed by Israel, Lebanon.
Yeah.
Get bombed by Israel, and then they get more
money
than
from.
$100 billion from the US.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. In Malay, you know what you call that? You call that wayang. All that wayang. Don't believe that, dude. Like, okay, fine. You destroy a company. That company is not around. The war still goes on. That's what I mean by it doesn't matter. It never mattered. People would like to politicize a lot of things now.
Yeah.
You know, like everything they want to politicize. Like we were talking about it earlier, like about the polarization.
Yeah.
There's always a side you have to pick.
Yep.
Right? And if you ask me, picking the side, because okay, fine, it is consumer goods. It is like it is unhealthy food, whatever. Right? But at the same time, it's part of our way of life. It's been part of our way of life for so long. Our country has been westernized. You know, like it's gone through Islamization as well, but it's also been westernized.
Yeah.
And there's always that, you can feel it, the pull between the urban areas and the less urban areas.
Yeah.
You can feel that. When I go back to kampung, I feel that.
Yeah.
You know, the difference, how you almost feel like you don't belong.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. Yeah,
You feel like a city boy, lah.
yeah, you feel like a city boy. And I always tell, like, my grandma gives me a lot of criticism for that, you know, like, you have to remember your roots and all that. Yeah, I was born in KL. I wasn't born in Kelantan. I was not born in Ipoh. I was born in KL. I'm a KL boy. I grew up in PJ. I'm a PJ boy to the death. I don't care. I could live in Texas. I'm still a PJ boy. You know? So that's what I mean. this kind of comfort, the level of comfort, the level of standard of living that we have, we've gotten used to it. And there's no use going, like, I'm not saying there's no use. And I'm not in any way trying to get people to eat McDonald's, okay? That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to say is that your virtues are better represented on the issues that matter, and how it matters for you to be able to affect the issues that matter to you. Okay? It shouldn't matter about how, okay, kids starving in Gaza and all. Yes, it's a bad thing. Yes, it's deplorable. Yes, you don't want it to happen. But reality of life is shit like that happens. If it doesn't happen to them, it happens to someone else. Do we really have to care? Do we have to care to the point where we're like going out of our way to virtue signal to them? Do you think they care? That, oh, we are not eating McDonald's on your behalf. Do you think they care? They don't care.
No, but
They want the violence to stop.
Yeah.
They want the violence to stop. And doing that is not, like, people think it's some major form of virtue signaling. It's not. It's not accomplishing anything.
No, I think people should still do it if they feel like it can. Sometimes they
If it makes you feel better.
Yeah, it makes you feel better, because like sometimes you see the things that are going on throughout the world, you feel like, what the is going on?
Yeah.
Then you feel like, how can I make this better? So boycotting, even if you say it doesn't work, for these people, not only it helps them nourish their soul or whatever, but they also feel that, okay, at least none of my money will go into anything that, it doesn't matter, food, weapons. None of my money will go into Israel that will eventually be used to kill Palestinians. That's what they think. That's what they want to do, at least when they boycott BDS lah, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So at least they have that clear conscience. Okay, what like you look at this throughout history. Like imagine 20 years from now, say Palestine is free or whatever.
Okay.
You look back and then you'll think, okay, what did I do? What did I do to do that? What during the time when the people of Palestine needed me most? What did I do?
They don't need you most. They don't need any of us. They need the violence to stop, and it's not in our hands. Like, yeah, I understand that you, especially people today, want to feel like they're affecting everything that they see on their phones. So that's why there is that kind of movement, you know. But I'm sorry to say, to me, it's purely narcissism. Because, like you said, it's to make you feel good. It's not to make them. Their lives are getting shittier every day. Like today, there was just a report coming out that says that famine is going to be a major issue in the next coming months, especially as it gets closer to winter. You know? So, it happens, dude. And I'm not saying we cannot have empathy for them, we cannot have sympathy for them, whatever. Like, yeah, I get that. I do. To me, is simply that I don't enjoy it when people, like, I don't boycott. Doesn't mean I'm not sympathetic to the Palestinian cause. Doesn't mean I want to see Israel win. But I don't believe that it works. And people telling me that it works, you know, or not telling me that it works, but people telling me I should, you know, because it's the right thing to do. I have a problem with that. That's what I have a problem with. To me, it's neither right or wrong. Like, if you feel like it makes you feel better, do it. Do it for your own narcissistic reasons. But don't drag me into it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can see your point. But most people don't do it for the narcissistic. Maybe that's just me lah. Yeah, I do it sometimes to make me feel better. But
I think most people do that.
No. I think most people they would genuinely, because you know they see this stuff on their phone screens, and they want to stop that.
Okay.
So by them doing BDS boycotting, it makes them feel better that, you know, at least one person, no matter how small it is, can make a small difference. So one person is just one person, but collectively, like let's say 100,000 people do it. All these companies, or the big ones, like let's say Nestle or Starbucks or McDonald's or stuff like that, they feel the impact I remember like when I was in Negeri Sembilan when the war just happened. I mean,
Okay.
like the war has always been happening, but when it first escalated after October 7th,
Yeah.
there was a McDonald's shop that just opened in Rembau.
Okay.
And then it was a complete flop. Nobody went to the shop basically. And I think that sends a message to all these big companies like, oh, okay, why are they stopping going to to our restaurants? Why are they not coming in and buy our stuff and stuff like that? Oh, okay, it's because of the war in Gaza. Okay, so at least even if it doesn't stop the bombing directly, but at least the companies know, okay, now we know that people are mostly pro-Palestine. So what do we do moving forward, especially for their brands, okay, for people that want to buy our products here. So what do we do now? So I think that is
But has that change happened?
No, but I think it's changing. It's changing.
You think so?
Yeah. I think some companies are like more leaning more towards the Palestine movement.
If you ask me, I feel like that I can't agree with your rationalization simply
Okay.
because they're not the targets. Your boycott targets them,
Yeah.
but they're not the actual targets. The actual target should be Israel. Should be stopping that from happening. You know, like there's no one pressuring our government to do that.
Yeah. And you think Trump can do that?
Yeah, if anyone has the power, he has the power. As president now, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a will thing. If he wants to do it, he will do it. Like he could sign so many like executive actions to be like, no exports to Israel for a certain amount of time, things like that. And I know he has said he would. When he was president 4 years, there was no major conflicts in Israel against the Gazans or against the Palestinians.
There was some, but nothing major.
No major lah.
Yeah.
It was never close to what happened after October
Yeah.
7, And yeah, the area is always going to be at conflict.
Yeah.
That's never going to change. As long as the Israelis are there in the middle of all these Arab Muslim
Yeah.
states, there's always going to be friction. And where do you put them? You can't move them anywhere else either. So it's problematic, but the main thing should be stopping the violence. And me not eating a Big Mac every 2 weeks is not going to stop the violence. I don't believe that. It hasn't stopped the violence.
It's okay lah. I mean, like, you do you lah.
Yeah, I will.
You do you.
Yeah.
I think just for my good conscience, I will keep boycotting.
Is why you're the good guy on the show, isn't it? Not me. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the good guy lah.
Yeah, well, you're better than me. I'll tell you that.
Nah. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to our episode this week. Jay, you got any closing remarks before we end the show?
Nah, I guess
Yeah.
like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And up to you if you wanna boycott, or if you don't, it's fine. Eat whatever you want. But and anyway, if you are interested in following the latest updates on the US presidential election, don't forget to keep watching. We'll be posting every week. So see you when we see you.
Yeah. Don't tell me to boycott. I won't boycott.
Yeah. Can
Peace.
boycott him, don't boycott me. Alright, ciao guys. Bye.
See you.
Let's go.